This week on Dateline Abuja, we take you to Kuchiko community in Buhari Area Council of the Federal Capital Territory, scene of a recent bandit attack that has claimed at least 5 victims in the past 6 months. We'll talk more about the challenges facing this community in our focus on the nation's capital. Our guest on the program is the Commissioner of Police for the nation's capital, Mr. Haruna Garba. We have quite a lot to talk about with him when it comes to security of lives and property in the nation's capital. The constant parade of suspects, community policing, and preventive measures to stop crime before they happen, especially in Abuja's suburbs. Hotspots in the city center, and the overall plans for the nation's capital as a new minister assumes office. And as we do every week, we have a breakdown of the major stories from Nigeria's presidency. This is Dateline Abuja. Hello and welcome to Dateline Abuja. I am Kayla Megwa. Let's begin by getting you updated on the major stories from Nigeria's presidency.
President Bola Tinubu has held a closed-door meeting with the Minister of Defense, Mr. Mohammed Badaru, and the Minister of State for Defense, Mr. Bello Matawale, alongside the service chiefs. This is the first time that the President will be meeting with the ministers alongside the service chiefs. The purpose of the meeting, which lasted for about an hour, was not disclosed. The meeting was held as the President prepared to leave the country for India to attend the G20 Leaders Summit. President Bola Tinubu has arrived in New Delhi, the capital of India, during which he will attend the G20 Leaders Summit and other engagements. Immediately he arrived with some senior government officials, including ministers and presidential aides. The president met with Mr. Prakash Hinduja, the chairman and CEO of the Hinduja Group of Companies, a conglomerate with a total asset portfolio exceeding $100 billion. According to a statement by the Special Advisor on Media, Mr. Ajuri Ngelale, the Indian industrialist has committed to making investments worth billions of dollars in automobile manufacturing in Nigeria. He stated that the president made it clear to his first visitor that he is in India with one focus: attracting investments to Nigeria with lucrative opportunities for investors. However, most essentially, jobs for Nigerians and new revenue opportunities for Nigeria's federal and subnational governments.
As I've always been, it is very difficult period. Yes. But success is not made of an individual, except from a team. And I have a good team.
Yes. Yes. God will help you. God will help you. I'll pray for that.
Thank you,
so
sir.
that one day we come to Nigeria, where we see such a big success.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, I'll be very happy.
The Presidential Election Petition Court has dismissed all the petitions filed by the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Mr. Atiku Abubakar, the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, and the Allied People's Movement (APM), seeking to nullify the victory of President Bola Tinubu at the election. The court dismissed the suits and allegations for lacking in merit and for being incompetent.
Primarily, the law is well settled that the results declared by ANEC, first respondent in an election, enjoy a presumption of legality. In other words, they are prima facie correct. Section 168 of the Evidence Act 2011, recently applied by the Supreme Court in Atuma and ANEC and APC.
Following the judgment by the Presidential Election Petition Court in Abuja, which ratified his election, President Bola Tinubu has assured Nigerians of his renewed and energized focus of delivering his vision of a unified, peaceful and prosperous nation. In a statement, the special advisor to the president, Ajuri Ngelale, stated that President Bola Tinubu welcomed the judgment of the tribunal with an intense sense of solemn responsibility and preparedness to serve all Nigerians irrespective of diverse political persuasions, faiths and tribal identities. The president affirmed that his commitment to the rule of law and the unhindered discharge of duties by the tribunal, as witnessed in the panel's exclusive respect for the merits of the petitions brought forward, further reflect the continuing maturation of Nigeria's legal system and the advancement of Africa's largest democracy at a time when the democratic system of government was under test in other parts of the continent. Governor Yahaya Bello of Kogi State says there is no need for the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Mr. Atiku Abubakar, and the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, to appeal the judgment of the Presidential Election Petition Court, which upheld the election of President Bola Tinubu. In an interview with State House correspondents after visiting Vice President Kashim Shettima at the presidential villa Abuja, Governor Bello said the verdict of the court reflects the will of Nigerians. He also reacted to the judgment of the Election Petition Tribunal in Kogi State, which declared Mrs. Natasha Akpoti of the People's Democratic Party as the winner of the Kogi Central senatorial election.
I think it is time to settle down and face governance. And I'll advise all those that feel aggrieved. We have only one country, Nigeria. We must all come together and support President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We must all come together and support President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and ensure that we fix this country.
Nigerian military troops in the third quarter of the year 2023 neutralized 814 Boko Haram and ISWAP terrorists, arrested 1,326 suspected criminals, apprehended 42 kidnappers, 231 terrorist collaborators, 33 armed robbers, 80 cattle rustlers, and intercepted 456 arms and ammunition while rescuing 721 abducted victims, according to the Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, who disclosed this at the maiden edition of the quarterly press conference held at the Defense Headquarters in Abuja. Oil thieves were denied 4 billion naira in oil theft during various operational activities in the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. The director used the opportunity to appeal to terrorists and their cohorts to drop their arms and rejoin society or risk annihilation.
The illusion by these groups to embark on terrorism or insurgency is indeed laughable. You may ask, why do I say so? I say so because increasingly they have become more of criminal organization, which is the reason they fight. They fight so that they can keep profiting from criminal activities such as illegal mining, kidnapping, cattle rustling, illegal levy collection from farmers and fishermen, and all other forms of criminal inclinations. If these groups do not come to the table in peace, we will ceaselessly punish them with overwhelming military force. For those supporting them, I say you have picked the wrong side, and you will face similar fate as these criminals and murderers.
The FCT police commander successfully contained a potentially volatile situation at the Garki market that could have possibly disrupted the peace in the neighborhood. In an official statement issued by the FCT Commissioner of Police Haruna Garba, it was revealed that a confrontation had erupted between the occupants of the market and several individuals, including personnel from the Department of State Services (DSS) and a tailor named Mohammed Habibu. During the altercation, shots were fired, targeting another tailor named Mubarak, and a bead maker named Lovett was accidentally shot in the fracas. They are both recovering in the hospital. A section of the market police outpost suffered some damage. Meanwhile, the Department of State Services has released a statement through its public relations officer confirming that it has initiated an investigation into the incident. The DSS assures the public that it would provide details of the inquiry as soon as possible. Furthermore, it emphasized its commitment to take appropriate disciplinary measures against any staff member found culpable or in violation of standard operating procedures when dealing with members of the public.
One person has been abducted in Kuchiko community in Buari Area Council of the Federal Capital Territory. The chairman of the Kuchiko Resettlement Development Area, Mr. Maibaba Bego, confirmed the incident to Channels Television, adding that the latest abduction brings the number of abducted persons in the area to 5 in the last 6 months. Poor infrastructure, poor security, these things have been identified as reasons why these abductions continue, and the residents are pleading for help from the FCT Police Command. Please watch this. Kuchiko community in Buari Area Council of the Federal Capital Territory is the latest to report abduction by suspected bandits. Situated on the FCT border with Niger State, the residents of the area recall the incident, which happened in the early hours of Saturday.
As you can see, this structure here, it was constructed from the contributions of members. We were able to raise up to about 700,000 naira to be able to put in place this structure. The essence is for it to accommodate or house, provide a shield for policemen, security personnel that will come here and be able to, patrol within the estate and take care of the place. We did that. Initially, they came. Some mobile policemen were drafted there. They came from the Commissioner of Police. But unfortunately, they didn't stay long. After about a week or so, 3 weeks, they left the place. You can see it's empty. So, you see, once there is no presence of security personnel, the place becomes even more porous. And then the people are emboldened to come back again. So that's where we are making this appeal that the FCT authorities, the security authorities should be able to make it a priority to make sure that security is deployed to this place so that on a 24-hour basis, we will have their presence here to be able to stem the tide of these bandits or these kidnappers that are disturbing us here.
We are under siege in this estate. And as a matter of urgency, the government should come to our aid. This is like a virgin land, a new estate that people are trying to come in and build. As it stands, now most people are running away from these estates. Most landlords are becoming tenants. Why? Because of the insecurity. It's part of insecurity in the estate. I will have it on record that in the past 6 months, more than 1 year or so, more than 5 persons have been kidnapped successfully in this estate. And we have been crying to the high heavens that the government should come to our aid. We have written letters, we have written memos, we have gone to all kind of media outfits to report our pain. But it seems the government is not doing much. As you can see there, like the live speaker has spoken, we have put all apparatus in place to make sure that the security men are comfortable. But they don't seem to be at their best. So we are pleading to the government to come to our aid. Yes, FCT Minister, the Commissioner of Police, the Honorable Minister of FCT, Nyesom Wike, the National Assembly members, our Executive President, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu should come to our aid. Yeah, the Senator Ireti should come to our aid. And as you can see, this estate is very porous. There is no entry, there is no exit. From what we have learned, they come into the railway section and they move from they come in from there. After doing the damage, they live there freely. It's like a free day for them.
The Abuja-Kaduna train service, which has been attacked on at least 2 occasions by bandits, runs through the community.
Where we are standing here, as you are seeing now,
the chairman of the Kuchiko Resettlement Development Area confirms that the abduction is a recurring incident in that neighborhood and appeals to the relevant authorities to strengthen the security architecture of the area.
Kuchiko relocation scheme is located between Kuchiko Ija of Niger State, opposite Rehabilitation Center of FCT. It is a FCT project conceived by RFI. That's 2005. Till then, we are here. I think government presence is very minimal. As a result, these kidnappers are getting their ways because we are very close to the main road, railway line. The railway line that connects us with Kubwa is their route. So whenever they come into this place and kidnap, they just enter that railway line and get their way. And we are very close to one Ija mountain. That is their hideout. Everybody knows that. So if they kidnap our members here, they go into that Ija mountain. And that's all. So we are appealing to government. We are appealing to everybody that they should come to rescue of this estate. It's a very big estate of about 5,000 housing units. So we are suffering over the years. That's why when I saw you, I was very happy. And I know the information is going to get to the minister and those concerned. We were with the Commissioner of Police not more than 2-3 weeks ago. It's about 3 weeks ago. he gave us 5 mobile policemen. They were working with us very well, and suddenly they left. After they left, it's not up to 2 days. They came in and now kidnapped one person yesterday. You know, less than 6 months, they kidnapped more than 5 people here on different occasions. If nobody can sleep here, nobody. Once if it is night, your chest will be beating you.
There is no sign of security presence within the community, and the FCT authorities say investigations are still ongoing and will yield results soon. My guest on the program is the Commissioner of Police for the nation's capital, Mr. Haruna Garba. We tried to get an update on the Kuchiko community kidnapping and plans for better security presence there. While we have him here with us, we get his take on working to meet the demands of the new minister of the FCT. We try to understand what the security plan is for the nation's capital, police response time to crime, challenges with implementation of the FCT security plan, collaborations in place, and how community policing can be effective in the midst of poor infrastructure in many parts of the nation's capital. CP Haruna Garba, welcome to Dateline Abuja.
Well, it's good to be here.
Well, we're grateful you made out the time to talk to us today.
Okay.
One of the reasons why we decided to have you here is because we wanted to talk about Kuchiko community.
Okay.
But it's not just Kuchiko we're going to talk about. We've heard about a lot of similar, bandit attacks on communities, especially in the suburbs of the nation's capital. So let's start off with Kuchiko. What's really going on? One of the things that the residents complained to us about was that they don't have a police post. And that this is now a recurring decimal. Bandits come, take them away, they pay ransom, they bring the people back. What's actually going on? What's the challenge there?
In Kuchiko, just as you mentioned, is a village. It's a small village, which is a suburb of Buari Area Council. And you also know that that area has boundary with Kaduna State and also Niger State. And whatever affects Kaduna and Niger also affects that part of the community. There are huge hills and forests in that area. And at times, even to get access to that place, it will take you hours. And it is a place that a vehicle is not even accessible. And if there's a complaint before you get there, you need to use a motorcycle. At times, you need to trek. The anti-kidnapping unit of the command have been doing their level best all the times they are in the bush to fish out these criminals. So in doing that, we have a multifaceted approach in dealing with that. Community partnership. It is also driven by intelligence-based. I did have a press conference, a press briefing, where the kidnappers that were arrested, 6 of them, and one is even an informant who carry, freight foods, drugs to the kidnappers in the bush.
At Kuchiko?
Kuchiko is not far from, I think they have an adjoining border with Zuba. So it is almost the same line.
So you're suspecting that the bandits that this person supplied to, it will be the same set of bandits that operated at Kuchiko?
Yes, it's with us as I speak, and he's giving us an information on how to get to the root of this matter.
In the city center, let me give you my personal story.
Okay.
At Federal Secretariat, where Ministry of Education is, across the road, that you can get taxis from across the road.
Yeah.
I was trying to get a taxi to go pick up my car that was parked at Old Parade Ground. And myself and one of my colleagues, he was carrying some equipment on him, and we were going together, and we were attacked. Just opposite that place where people used to put paintings on the road to sell artwork. They've driven all of them away. We were there. We're trying to flag down a taxi when some hoodlums came from the bush behind, climbed out. You know, there's a fence there, but it's not the entire stretch of road that is fenced.
Yeah.
So the part of the road that is not fenced, they came out from there, they attacked me and my colleague. They beat us up. Luckily for us, they stole my bag, they stole my phone, they took everything from me and punched. In fact, they were hitting me, I was telling them, you don't have to hit me. Just take what you want and leave. And after they stole things from everything I had on me, luckily for us, there were 2 policemen across the road. And the 2 policemen, one ran towards me and said, "Madam, we'll get you your things." And the other policeman chased the person who took my bag. And thank God, they were able to catch him right there. This was not at night. By the way, this was at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. They were able to catch him. And when they caught him, you know, I saw the policeman hold him. They brought my bag. They told me to check my bag, my phone, everything was still, my car keys, everything was still in my bag. And I was very grateful. Then the other policeman that was with me stopped a taxi that took me and my colleague to my destination. This is supposed to be one of the most secure parts of the nation's capital. Seeing as all the secretariats are here, Ministry of Foreign Affairs is in front of me, Ministry of Finance is this way. There's police formations everywhere. We have heard a lot of citizens of the FCT complain about hotspots like that within the city center. Is there something being done about this by the FCT Police Command?
That particular area you have mentioned, you know, there are canals, there are bushes all over. Even opposite the Minister of Women Affairs, as I enter, approaching from a Court of Appeal, the 2 sides of it, you see that the whole place there is bushy. And if you are even on the center of the road, you cannot, if you look very far, you will not be able to see because of the thick bush. We have them all over in the city center, canals. And we also have uncompleted buildings that most of these criminals hibernate. And having noted that, we've been carrying out sustained raids regularly, but we are trying our level best to make sure that those things does not happen. We have stop and search in some of these locations that you have just mentioned. And we've been able to make arrests and we'll be able to prevent those things happening.
How many more policemen do you need?
You know, in the United Nations standard, 2 policemen to maybe about 200. But can we achieve that in this country?
2 policemen to 200?
To 200, the UN standard. Can we achieve that?
What are we doing here? What's our ratio here?
The ratio you should know because you are also part of this society. You should know the strength is very minimal. In fact, compared to the population of this country.
I mean, it is a very dire situation, but luckily we have a new minister, Mr. Incessant,
yes,
who's very serious about security. What do you think is going to be happening? What kind of collaborations are you going to be seeing with the FCT authorities?
Well, we have had a series of meetings with the Honorable Mr. Incessant, CON, when he took over the mantle of leadership as the Minister of FCT, and they have also told us his mission and vision, and the huge number of shanties that we have, uncompleted building that we have that hide most of these criminals. He has promised he's going to do something about it. When Nigerians they go outside the shores of this country, they obey laws of those countries. But when they come here, it's a different thing entirely. Impunity is what is.
Well, there is quite a lot to talk about when it comes to security in the FCT, but I'm sure this is not going to be the first and last time we have you here.
Yes.
We're going to be having you here often, aren't we?
Yes, it's all right.
Okay.
when you invite me, I will certainly be here for you.
Well, I want to thank you because I know there's a lot of work going ahead for you. Thank you so much for being with us on Dateline Abuja, and good luck with all the work ahead of you.
Thank you very much for...
Thanks to my guest and to everyone who spoke to us today on the program. Between 2019 and 2022, there have been series of robbery attacks in several parts of the nation's capital. One at the Kubuatu Extension Estate, Communal clashes like the one in Apo, kidnappings in places like Keti Village and the University of Abuja staff quarters in Giri Village in Gwagwalada Area Council, and an overall sense of insecurity across the nation's capital, which reduced the faith residents have in security forces, even though this is the seat of power. 2023 has been a bit calmer, but we are seeing these incidents rearing their ugly heads again, and we sincerely hope these issues are nipped in the bud before they turn into situations we cannot control. That's Dateline Abuja this week. Please let us know the happenings in your neighborhood using the social media handles showing right now on your screens. Thank you so much for watching. I am Kayla Magwa. See you next time.